Okay, how's it now? Thank you. No, I'm not muted anymore. I am here now. Ah, CC was working. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Oh, Cat, thank you for resubbing. Nyani? Let me see if all my filters and stuff is still working. Looks good. Hee. Thank you for resubbing, Eva. You don't hear the hee, but I do. Okay, we're gonna play this thing today. But first, okay, so audio is fine, I hope. Not too loud. I did find my equalizer plugin, so I hope any unwanted breathing is being quenched. Also, yeah, everything else should be on. Submersive and breathable. Yes. Thank you for the love, Cat. Love you too. How has everyone's Saturday been going so far? Are you doing well? Thank you for the hydrate. Also, I hope I won't be dropping too many frames today. We're already at 142, which I hate. I did a test earlier and that looked kind of good, but maybe the time of day is an issue. Let me check my handy dandy. Ouch. Thank you for the banana, Bob. Handy dandy app. Let's see what it says. Yes. Should be good. Should be good. I'm alone on my channel. Ooh, Make It Rainbow. Hi. Thank you for the raid. Oh, nice to see you again. How was your stream? I lurked a little bit. Yay. And thank you for the follow, Scarox. Oh my, so much love at the beginning of the stream already. Ah. More love. Kieran, hi. Get in here. Can I get a shout out for Make It Rainbow, please? And yes, that will be 3 hopes in a bit once I start it. I haven't even touched it yet. Yeah. Oh my god, the cult bongo is there. Thank you for the love. Oh my god, too many things. Oh my god, hype train, what the hell? Sunken, thank you for the resub.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, Make It Rainbow. You need more
like,
more clips, so the random clip thing will actually pull a new one, and not all the old ones. You hope. Thank you. You only have 1 hope, or do you have more than 1 hope? Thank you for the love as well. Oh my god, there's so many things happening. Yeah. Hype train, wow. I think that would be my first hype train, actually. No pressure. But yeah, I think it's it's like the anniversary of my getting affiliates, so some resubs might be due. Let's see. Yes. Yeah, let's make more clips of Make It Rainbow so we can get the cool new model into the clips. Where was I? Yeah, I hope everyone's been having a very nice Saturday so far, be it evening or morning for you, wherever you live. Yes, affiliate. 2 months. Yeah. So everyone resubbing now is entering their 3-month sub and getting the nice teal colored paw. Okay, another shout out for Make It Rainbow, only guy. Until we get a clip with a new model. We can do it. Oh, Sunken, very nice. I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, everyone should play Grandia. Good game. hold on. If ever I is asleep, I will just do it myself. That is not it. 4 to 6 hours maybe stream. Yes, thank you. Thank you for the follow and enjoy your day. Oh, yes.
You can't even read, it's scrolling so fast.
I'm glad you like it, Sunken. Yeah, but then I wanted to do another shout out until we get a clip with the new model, actually. So, again. Nope. Okay, that's it.
I have no idea what
yeah, we're gonna stop now. You got 3 free shoutouts though. Oh, don't worry, Emma. I was just joking. It's not your not your own sole job doing my shoutouts.
Nothing touched me.
But yes, check them out to actually see the new model. Let's start this one. Let's play some Fire Emblem Warriors. I have never played Fire Emblem Warriors before. Piñata! Hey, thank you for the raid. Welcome. Piñata. You were playing Fallout, right? And thank you for the resub. Oh my god, the hype train succeeded! Ah! Choo-choo! Hype! Welcome, Piñata Scraps. After party. Oh, what kind of hype train things did we get? Oh, we got level 2 now. Ah. Wow, so much party in the chat already. Just started. Hi, Piñata. How was stream? I hope you had a good time. I was kind of busy this morning, so I didn't really find time to watch. I'm sorry. User data will be created. I swear there is sound. It's gonna come soon, I think. Or is there? Yeah, I think there should be. But you need to. Oh, I need to press the button. Oh, you let it slide this time? Great. Phew. Also, by the way, I have re-included the mustache. So let me know if you want that. Ooh, looks nice. Press the button. First, change language. English, yes. Okay, is there voice? Extras. Settings. Yes. 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 Voice over language. Japanese. There we go. Toggle hoodie. Yes, sir. There we go. With a cozy. Yeah, looks good. Japanese voice is on. Thank you for the love, Eva. License? What the heck? Okay. I have never played a Warriors game before. Let's do normal though. I hope it's not gonna be too bad. It's sort of tactical and turn-based, isn't it? I have like some sort of lemonade thing here and it's super delicious. Mash buttons, I can do that. And we do not use permadeath because nope. What is this? Take more time to examine strategic information like level up stuff. Keep the action flowing to no, let's do the whole thing. The winking is strong today again. Yes, please lurk, please eat, please nourish yourself. And no, Scraps, you can just go wild. I mean, you know who I am. If you've seen me in the Not Safe for Work channel on Pinata's Discord. Oh, can we get a shout out for Pinata, by the way? Sorry. Oh, Zeros. Pretty. Nice try, Sunken, and sadly it's mod only. Oh my god, they can walk!
Actually, Pokemon do things.
Hey, Sai! Glad you made it.
They can walk.
Oh yeah, Pinata can sing, by the way. If you like singing, you should check out Pinata.
I can walk.
They can walk. Is this cutscene important? I'm missing it. This looks the same as Three Houses, so it's just like fighting stuff, all the green-haired people, also spoilers for Three Houses, I guess. Ooh, hype train. Hype train emote. It's a koi being petted. Nice. Hydrate, thank you. Oi. Oh, hold on. Let me message my friend. Sorry. A friend messaged me earlier and she was interested in seeing the Three Houses, Three Hopes demo. So I wanted to let her know that I'm online now. And also Alec is being a butt and not watching my stream. Unacceptable. Oh yeah. Look at that hair color. Eva, do you like that hair color? Oh, Lyle, hi! Oh, I'm a girl. Yes, of course I would pick the girl. Who am I, huh? Obviously I'm gonna pick the girl. Oh, she's cute. She's voiced! She has a voice! No! No. What shall my name be? Obviously. Marshall. Okay. No, I'm nice. Oh, she's nice. I like her voice. She's very, very pretty, and I like her voice. I'm gonna turn up the volume of the game a little bit. Sorry. Yeah, her hair is great. The Ashen Demon is a woman.
名前も覚えてないんでしょう。
いや、覚えてるぞ。確か。
Can I name my rival? Yay! No, of course, female Byleth. Yes. Dave. Hold on. Chat, do you want to name my rival? Well, she is gonna be a girl, but she can still be named Dave or Bob. No, Sven is nice. Sven is my bird in Cozy Grove. We cannot call her Sven. But yeah, Bob, maybe? Any relation to people in the chat is purely coincidental. Wani? No, Wani is a nice person. I don't want to call my rival Wani. Rat? I'm kind of partial to Bob. Oh yeah, her name is Bob, short for Roberta. That works. That works. Done. Hey Alec, thank you for resubbing. You might be too young for this meme, but there was once the era of lolcats. And if you were just gonna look up the word ceiling cat is watching you masturbate, you will see what I was referring to. Yes, Sai, what's up? But I'm also very proud of that tweet. Please like it and retweet it if you want, if you feel like it. My tracking is kind of chunky today. Karaoke. No, she's Bob now, Roberta. Here, new waifu, by the way. Oh, Eva, weren't you looking for a new waifu to put as your profile pic? I suggest her. She's great. Oh, Longhand. Look. Sorry. Ah. The age of men is over. The time of Bob has come. Yeah, she's super hot and she has a nice voice. Goodness, yeah, Byleth is an enemy. Bob is her name now, by the way. What is that hat? Is she gonna ram people with that? Ah, yeah. Yeah, no, the waifu is the player character in this case. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the hat. Also, my name is already Mari, so I cannot name my rival Mari as well. Dancho. Oh my god, I'm winking so much today. My phone did that whole update thing, so maybe it's bungled now. Yeah. So one second. Stuff is happening. Okay, no, stuff is not happening. I'm fine. Let's go.
どうやら来るみてえだ。俺たちも配置につくぞ。
勝って一緒に明日の朝日を拝もう。
Thank you for the love, Alec. Ouch, thank you for the banana. Oh my god, she's so pretty, I love her. There's probably already porn of her, right? Someone please look that up and send it to the Not Safe for Work channel. My eye is funky today. Okay, oh god, I need to move. Oh, oh.
行くぞ
Level, level.
で突き進むぜ
How do I attack?
まずはお手並み拝見
If wait, this sound overlay is fucking me up. Oh, good job, Alex. Yes, Lyle has that strategy down. Oh no, they are. Oh, that's you could probably ask Sarah to change that. So that should not be that hard. First of all, menu system, like we all do, yeah. X and Y for attack. That's okay. Vertical needs to be inverted, yes. Okay, yeah. Woo! Vision start. Ah! Regular attack and strong attack. So I just yeah, sorry. My brain is just weird. My brain does not work with a normal vertical camera. I think that's some people just work differently. Anywho, do I just go Y and X alternating repeatedly? Oh no, I see. So Y, X, Y, X, Y, X. Okay. Nice. Woo! Okay, this is kind of fun.
だったらこっちもいろいろやってもいいわね
Ooh, every class, yeah. Hold X to charge. Release. Press and hold X during a strong. Oh god, oh god. Okay.
攻めて攻めて攻めまくれ
Come here, you guys. Okay.
よし
Can those side things go away?
まるで強さを感じねえな
Wait. Mash buttons. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sometimes it depends on the game as well. But and also it depends on whether it's first person or second person. Third person, I guess. So I really need to feel into it and just see what comes naturally. So if I go like this, I want to look up. Yeah, so that's right. Defeat the mercenary captain. Okay, bye. Have fun at dinner and see you later for the collab. I hope. It's gonna be late for you, but not too late. Alec, you shouldn't. You and Eva, I think you have a lot in common. He also likes Zone 10. Thank you for the hydrate. During the developing missions, yes. I got that. Are there items? Oh, there's more people. An arrow is displayed. Press R to lock on. Nice. Yep, out of my way. Oops. Oh no, guarding and dodging. Ugh. Press R to display quick menu 1. Oh my god, this is too much. Cannot use the same combat art or magic multiple times in a row. That must wait for a certain amount of time. Okay. Using combat arts magic will reduce your weapon's durability. Okay, let's... Ooh, nice. Pick up green tonics to restore your HP. Don't worry, all systems will explain. Yeah.
俺たちがこっちの砦を落とす。お前はそこを頼むぜ。
さっさと終わらせてみんなでお酒を浴びたいですね。
He's just gonna go, right? Do I need to kill these people? Or can I just run? Battlefields contain bases. Yeah, capture it, and then there's not gonna be more stuff coming. Okay. Nope. Oh, did I capture this? No, I need to kill the captain, I guess. Seized. Yeah, I'll get it. Stun gauge will appear. Yeah, attacking to completely defeat the god. X to critical rush. That's the same as Persona 5 as well, I guess. Ooh.
団長たちはかなり前に出ちゃったわね。大丈夫かしら。怯えんな。進め。
例の灰色の悪魔はいねえのか？強さがどんだけか知らねえけどよ。
What did they say? How do I kill her now? Ah, there it goes. Ah, okay. Oh yeah, sorry, my tracking is broken. I think the iPhone did do that update, so maybe that's that. I'm just gonna be very flirty to everyone today. Strongholds, controlling, slowly regain. Yeah. Pick up purple crystals. Sure. Okay. Ah! So I need to go this way. No, that is closed. Eye patch. I think there's an eye patch in YouTube Studio that I could get. So are these my people? Yeah, right? Yes, they are my people.
灰色の悪魔が来たの？団長の腕で遅れを取るとは思わないけど。
Ooh. Okay. Oh no, my guy has died.
そんなあっさりと。
Ouch.
まずいね。
Oh no.
団長が苦戦してるの？
Am I fucking this up? Or is this scripted? Okay.
数が多いわ。そうなら。
Several captains. Ah! When your warrior gauge is full, press A to unleash a warrior special. Hey! Yeah!
程度
Health! Wait. How do I map? Ah. So here they killed my, but I couldn't have gotten there because this is closed, right? Did someone respawn here now? That's my guy, I guess. Oh, yeah. Maybe some of the issues you have stemmed from a lack of depth perception of. Oh yeah. There's Bob. Okay, we shall see. Okay, like Spiky Head has died.
どうなってんだおい
Wait. There are other crystals here that I can get or let me just see. Ouch! Go away. Can I open this? No, I cannot. Ah, there's a few enemies left. Get to Bob, yes! We shall. Oh, we're the red guys. Okay, blue guys are evil. Okay, get to Bob. Yes, I'm gonna get to Bob. Oh my god. There she is. Bob, my beloved. Can I jump? No, I cannot jump. Oh my god! Ah! Ah! Is this normal?
せめてお前は
I'm dying! But I'm dead. Ah, it's scripted. This is supposed to happen. Right? Kiaran's gonna be like, no, I defeated her. The bitch just made me stumble. Hydrate, thank you. Or is this the game over scene? Ah, no, this is okay. Everything is scripted. I'm not the worst player ever. Yes. I'm back. I got the perpetual wink today. Eva, are you here? Oh my god, who am I? Holy shit! My demon form! What am I doing? Oh my god, this is the wrong direction! Good job. Amazing job. Oh, this is too much happening. I thought it said I could lock the camera, but it didn't really. It really is just button mashing. Oh my god. Yeah! Get fucked, everyone! I mean, it's kind of fun, but I also don't feel like I have any command about this game. Nice. Yay! Ooh. So, okay, I'm gonna do it myself. Okay. Defeat Bob. For real this time. No.
おい、いつまで遊んでる。目的は達した。さっさと引くぞ。
Ooh, oh, okay, okay.
悪いけど、
Scripted.
戦いはここまでだね。
You live this time. Oh, she's so cute.
なぜ？
なぜ？
こちらは目的を果たした。つまり、君たちの仕事は失敗だね。縁があればまた。まだ終わって。
Oh yeah, her demon form receded. Oh. There's just waifus for days. Yeah, I shall ask her name.
僕が誰か？それは難しい質問だね。ひとまずラルバとでも呼んでくれ。
ラルバ。
それでだ。端的に伝えよう。君は
Voice is very female. Body seems a little bit ambiguous. And yeah, Japanese voice seems to call them larva instead.
正確には僕が君の命をつなぎ止めている。おかげで僕は正直クタクタだよ。
The disgust.
ありがとう。
ありがとう。
よろしい。感謝の言葉をかけられるのは
Oh,
初
did
め
they
てだが、
baku? Okay.
なかなか気持ちがいいな。
Either way, I love them.
君はこの世界の循環における重大な、いや、今の君に必要なのは過程じゃなく、再び立ち上がるという結果だったね。
これは夢なの？私はあの時倒れて。
半分正解、半分不正解。おめでとう。9大点ってところかな。とにかく君にとって
The
大
face is
切
so
なのは
nice,
目
like the
覚め
whole
た後に何をする
upward
かだ。
angle that they did on the nose.
何をするか。
ほら、君はあの傭兵に敗れて危うく命を落とすところだったろ。同じように戦えば同じように命を落とすだけだ。君が失敗するたび僕が処理して回るなんて面倒この上ないよ。
Space Daddy.
強くなるわ。今の自分を子供扱いできるくらいにね。
Yes, the portrait is. Yeah!
そうしていつか超えてみせる。
Space Dembo. Yeah,
い
yeah.
つか
Oh my god, my
ね。
tracking just completely died. Hello! Phone. Please. Hate this. Ah, there we go. Went through all the motions in 1 second. Banana, thank you.
どの道全部やり直しじゃない。団長も仲間も大勢死んでこの傭兵団はおしまいよね。
なんだ、随分と白状だから世話になった相手だよね。
Thank you. Welcome back, Pinata.
白状なのかもしれないわ。金で結ばれた関係だし、傭兵両親もなく育ての母も失った私はそうやって生き延びてきたのよ。あの人たちへの手向けって意味ならまずは修行し直して腕を上げて。
Stretch. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Enough blusherino. Yeah. Yada. Yeah, I was blushing for that space person who's talking to me here.
いつかジェラルト傭兵団を灰色の悪魔を倒すわ。それが私の生き
And the
方。
winking is just
Watashi
me
no
being
yume yo.
extra.
いいね、その負けん気。
Maybe I'll just keep it as a
さすが
feature.
は僕の
Always
運命
winking.
共同体だ。
Thank you for the pet. No. I do not want to print.
運命共同。
おっと、そう呼ぶには早かったか。
Take
心の距離は
intimacy in
少し
smaller
ずつ
steps.
縮まるもの
Huh?
らしいしね。
Can I not go all the way on the first date?
君にしるべを与えよう。強くなるんだ。君の願いを叶えるために。
序章偶然の出会い
Okay, gently nom the eggplant. Not go all in.
遥か太古よりありし地
Yeah, this
フォド
is
ラ
the demo for the new
天
Fire
上より
Emblem
女
Warriors
神を
one.
見守ると言われるその大地は3つの勢力によって統治されていた。
Oh, hey, it's the same map we
1000
already
年
know.
以上の歴史を持ちフォドラの南半分を支配するアドラステア帝国。その帝国の北側寒冷な大地を王と騎士たちが治めるファーガス神聖王国。そして大陸の東側で王をいただかず有力貴族による共同体をなすレスター諸侯同盟領。かつては戦乱の嵐が吹き荒れた大地も今は三勢力の均衡により平穏が保たれていた。
Okay, I can
三勢力の
I
中
can
心
wink
に
by
は
just turning my head
フォド
now.
ラであまねく
But
信
now I'm
仰され
looking
る
pretty straight at my phone, and when I go this.
ガルグマク大修道院があり、 フォドラの平穏の維持に一役買っていたのであ
Not
る。
what I want, but...
ガルグマク大修道院のほど近く、帝国領北部にある小さな村ルミール。その西方に広がる森の中に一人の傭兵の
I
姿
like your
があ
art
った。
style.
その名は
Perfect. Church will say so. Haha. No.
目を覚ますんだ。君は何度呼べば起きるんだい？
The no use.
何？
何？
誰かに呼ばれた気がしたけど、まだ暗いわね。
呼んだよ。
God, she's so hot.
もう何度も呼んだ。
And Larva is so much better than... What was her name again? Tiny Goddess chick? What was her name? I already forgot about her because it's only Larva now. Yes,
突然
the
話しかけるのはやめてって言った
Sothis,
わよ
yes,
ね。
Sothis.
そう言われてもね。
Oh, look at the look at the look of disdain. Ah, German word? Torschluss panic. Okay. Let me first. Literally, it's the panic of the gate closing. I think it's mostly used for women when they reach a certain age, like when they approach the end of their breedable years, when they think like, oh god, I really need to get pregnant and have a child now before I cannot do it anymore. So they get into this panic of that certain gate closing, that gate of opportunity closing. So it's kind of a sexist term actually, but yeah, but also when you gotta run because Aldi's gonna close. Breed. Bonk. It's that kind of stream today, guys. Yes, we do have words for everything.
君、僕の突然の導きがなかったら何度死んでいたと思う？合計で22回だ。修練と称して崖から飛び降りたのが3回。魔物の群れに一人で突っ込んだのが5回。
Oh, is there... maybe. I think I've never used or heard it used before in any other context than having children, honestly. Oh my god, yes! Unsold Christmas cake. Damn! Ah, this got dark. Which is the English word? A word. The term.
今日だって僕の導きに従わず道を間違えたせいでこうして森の中で寝る羽目に。おっと、無視かい？それとも痛いところをついてしまったかな？
I mean, I think it's sexist in the way that you break down the state of a woman to the mere fact that she is desperate about becoming a mother. And I think there's a little bit more, there are more layers to that. It's not like they would jump or hump anything only to get a child. It's obviously a factor to consider. Then again, there are other ways to have children if you yourself are not bodily ready anymore. So I think it's usually used. It's not the best term to use. I just think it's too generalizing of the complexity of the problem. Yeah, biological clock. That stuff. Yeah, you got it. So obviously, it is a thing. It is a factor, but it's sort of the sexist to reduce a woman's state of mind to that. That's the same thing. Like, oh my god, you're in a bad mood. Are you having your period? It's a whole same kind of thing.
まあ誰にでも失敗はあるという。君はその話がそれたが、そろそろ君を起こした理由を説明していいかなと言っても。
Let me see if I can place my tracking thing somewhere else, so I get a better view of my face. Actually, here. How's that? No more weird winking. How about that, Joker? I turned off the thing to toggle it off, so it stays on now. Yeah, let's play on.
おいクロード、
Hey, good.
闇雲に進むのはよせ。方角を見失って道に迷うだけだぞ。
That Joker stays on during stream. Oh, the other Mari. She wears a Joker. I didn't even notice yet.
心配すんなって。皇女様の話じゃこっちに村があるんだろ。
They do look like her song.
こんな山あいの村の正確な場所を知っているはず。しかも
Yeah, it's just like a battlefield snack.
自分たちのいる位置さえ怪しいわ。
じゃあ、あとは俺の勘頼みってことだな。任せて。
待て、二人とも人がいる。族の仲間か。
Chat is being big brain today.
やけに色とりどりで。
Oh, she does have a Joker. Ah, it's kind of more of a.
族に間違えられているよ。
It's not chokery enough. I think. The wholesome symbol of spooning. Would that be like a 99 or a 66?
ちょっと待って。族って何の話？私はただの傭兵よ。
Is this an alternate timeline thing? Because they would usually be on Byleth's side, wouldn't they?
ほほう、傭兵ね。
Yeah, exactly. It's too low. Needs to be higher up for the actual and efficient choking.
傭兵が一人、こんな森の中で何を？
おい、今は問答をしている場合じゃない。
だから待ってって。護衛の依頼なら受けるわよ。一人だけど、傭兵だ。
それなら悪いが手を貸してくれないか。
Wait, what is that?
怖い盗賊団に追いかけられていたな。
報酬については心配しないで。ここを切り抜けられたらだけど。
Mari changes classes and is now a Flügel. Flügel. I am a wing. Mari learned a unique ability. There are 3 types of action, support, tactical. During battle, press L plus X. Ah. Ah. Unique ability, Shadow Flash. Gain chance to perform a few attacks at instant defeat. Ooh. Mortal Core level 1. When HP is 90% or above, increases the warrior gauge fill rate. When ordered to attack, increases damage dealt to enemy. Cool. was really just button mashing, honestly. Resource pouch. Resource pouch. Bandit. Oh, that's that guy. This game just makes me want to play Three Houses again, honestly. I thought this would have more of a tactical aspect. Yeah. Zoom. Oops. Advantage icons. Ah. More advantageous effects, the more up arrows. Yeah, the old weapon triangle. Ah, okay. They gave me Edelgard. Oh, 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 oh. Can you not? Edelgard. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Chat. Reading chat. Thank you. Ah, tactical stuff comes later. Okay. Yes. Thank you for the blessings. Can she dash? No. Oh, it's a up and down to change. These are sword people? God, too many buttons. Furugeru. Yep. Furugeru. Furugeru, yeah. Press R and B to use vulnerary and restore your HP. Oh yeah, it's just healing. Woo! Steady step, 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 step! Hydrate, thank you. There is a thing to take over. Units with crests can take a crest effect. You can find details, blah. Give me this. Okay, I have this. Oh, nice. Pet the cat. Stretch the cat. Okay. So also let me edit the stream info because I have fixed the wings. Toggle hoodie! Oh my god. Can you guys let me play? Oh my god, he's I need to Claude for both things. Extra effective. Great damage, yay. Okay. Claude. Nice. Woohoo! Okay, I like bow classes. I like bow classes. Denewed the class.
中央の回廊は賊が固めているようだな。森の砦を抑えながら進むのが得策だろう。
相手を見て得意なやつが前に出た方が良さそうだな。みんな頼んだぜ。
We go? Yeah? Yes. Ooh, order them. Ah, press plus to issue orders. Hmm. We can order a unit to move there, attack, guard, heal. Auto battle. Okay, so there is a dragon guy, so I should use Claude.
この手を試してみるか。
Jeez.
よし、やってみますかね。
This is me. That is a sword person, so
では、手はず通りに動こう。
see.
最善を尽くすとしよう。
予定通り行くわよ。
Jeez. Ilda doesn't have the greatest advantage. Ah. What can I do though? Can I... Do I need to do something? Okay, maybe here, yeah. Cease. Okay, okay. Sorry. So...
私の出番ね。
私の出番. There was an item here. Yes, I'm gonna seize. Claude is already done. This item here. I want this item. Ooh! Pots! Ah, okay, it's just heal. Oh wow. Yay! We seized the stronghold.
これで一通り制圧できたな。
There's a pot.
こうなったら策もクソもねえ。
Cool. Now I can press A on stuff.
おいおい、どれだけ人数がいるんだよ。こりゃもう盗賊なんじゃなくて軍だな。
Hey! No, I think just I keep pressing B because I think B is attack but B is dodge, so I keep rolling through stuff. Wait, wrong. Can I want that. This pot. I want to go to the pot. That's a thief. Can I just send someone there? Can you kill that one? Cool. And you kill that one. And I'm gonna go get the pot. Oh no. Alois!
生徒を脅かす盗賊ども覚悟せ
ここで騎士団が来てくれるとはな。この戦い、勝ちが見えてきた
Wait,
よ
I
うだ。
just want the pot.
なんだと？せめて一人はやっておかねえとまずい。
Yeah. Let me through.
敵が破れかぶれで突撃してきたぞ。みんな気をつけろ。
Defeat Costas. Yes. On our way. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. All out offensive. Select. No. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yosh. 行くぞ! Wait, first I need to kill this guy, I guess. It does feel nice to just chop through people. Kurai. When the awakening gauge is filled, press R+A to awaken. Ah, my dragon form. All attacks will make the stun gauge appear. Mm-hmm.
力がみなぎっているね。あの時のように強くなれるんじゃないか。
Okay, everyone went up there. Maybe I should go and join them. Ikuzo! Oh, Costas, he came to me. Nice. Nice. Oh, have fun lurking, Piñata.
情けはかけてやれない。
あんな仕事受けなきゃよか。
The game is kind of fun.
とりあえず任務成功かしら。
Stage complete. Yay! Ooh, S rank. Maybe I'm not so shitty after all. Or maybe this is scripted. I don't know. The sound.
もっと上を目指すわ。
Mm-hmm. Thank you for the highway. S for sunken shell. Haha. Oh, I cannot wing on command anymore. MVP. Ah! More XP. Amazing. Lots of stuff. Just like poof, poof, poof. Money, yay. Oh, you guys cannot hear the thing. Ah. Yeah, I have not splitted my audios, my audio channels yet.
本当に助かったわ。 改め私はアドラステア帝国の皇女エーデルガルト・フォン・フレスベルグよ。
Marigatou.
ファーガス神聖王国の王子ディミトリ・アレクサンドル・ブレーダットだ。
それで俺がクロード・フォン・リーガン。
一時はどうなることかと思ったが、お前のおかげで盗賊を
ああ、お前みたいなやつと逃げる途中で会えたのは
それもあなたたちと共に戦ったからでしょ。相性がいいのかもね。そうかもしれないわね。
実に三者三様だね。なぜ君には目的があったはずだろう。速やかに報酬を受け取り。
ああ、そうだったわ。実は私この辺りにあるルミールって村に行きたくて、ジェラルト傭兵団がいるって噂を聞いてね。凄腕の
ルミール村ねえ。どうだエーデ
Oh
ルガルト。
no. Why
残
don't we
念
team
ながら
up?
傭兵団の噂は知らないが。
そうね、確かにそんな名前だった気がするわ。あくまで噂なの。なかなか居場所を明かさない。村の場所は夜が明けないとつかめないわね。
おーい救助たち、それに恩人の傭兵殿、この辺りの後始末は済んだことだし、そろそろ野営地に。それと貴殿。
私も
そりゃいい。野営地で明るくなるのを待ってから村に。この場じゃ報酬を払おうにもろくに持ち合わせ。
村に尋ね人がいるという話だ。今は村に滞在しているとしても、一度野営地で周囲の地理を確認した方が。
どうかしら。ひとまずは一緒に来ない？私としては
Oh, the voice acting is
あな
very
たと
nice.
話す機会が増える方が嬉しい。
I
他に選
guess.
択肢はなさそうだね。やれやれ。
Sorry, Space
目
Daddy.
的が通。
わかったわ。少しの間だけどお邪魔するわね。よかった。野営地に着いたら
うん
少しだけ時間をもらえる？
Oh yeah, bye Bob. Thank you for being here.
大した話ではないけれど、あなたに伝えて。
では皆で行くとするか。そういえばさっき貴殿らはジェラルトと。
ええ、知る人ぞ知る凄腕の傭兵団、その団長よ。
凄腕の団長。私も会いに行きたいのだ。
Yeah, how are they gonna set
まず
this
は
story
騎
up?
士としての任を全う。そう全うな。
Just
伝
stop
わらなかっ
talking.
たか今のは。
Oh no, he did his pun thing. Wait.
さすがはアロイスさんだ。
Mission the point.
さっ
Oh.
さと出発しようぜ。
Time for our date with Ilgard. Hey, Ferdy! Hey, Petra! Hey, everyone! Yeah, my favorite part of these games. Interaction. Oh my god, look at the look at the huge map. First, let's search for my waifu.
おーい
Ooh, look at her in the back. She was hot.
実はだな。どうだろうか。
Yes, let me bond.
さて
Speak to the leaders. No, I want to speak to my favorites. Okay, correct house. And there she is! Mercedes. My first waifu.
こんにちは。
No, not you.
こんにちは。
Konnichiwa. Ara.
そうね。
Beautiful. Perfection.
実はね。
Okay, do I need to talk to the others? Felix. Hi.
お前か。
Okay, this is... who are you? You're hot.
あなたね。
Okay. I need to make all the points white, I'm sorry. To talk to everyone. Do-do.
感謝する。
いえ。
いや、そうか。
Retreat.
ありがとう。そういえば
ありがとう。
Yeah, now this is what I like.
どうだろう。俺も彼女とは入学して初めて知り合った。物腰の柔らかいしっかりした女性だ。帝国王国と各地を転々としてきたらしい。
Isn't she the prettiest? Don't care about the rest.
なんだって。
まったく。構いませんか？
参ったな。いやいや。
Ah, Silva.
いや。そっか。
Hey, what's that supposed to mean? I'm a local peasant? Wait, there's more yellow spots I need to talk to.
ね
Oh no.
いや。そういえば。
君か。
Yeah. He seems to be at least lemon press adjacent. Without her protective cover, she died.
実は
Thank you for the hydrate. Rain on her parade. What a great option.
ありがとな。行くぞ。
Ikuzo! Stretch? Okay. Yeah. Good. Student.
どうも。
What? Does he... Did he just... Oh, I seam dance. Okay.
どうかな。
He has a very arrogant face. Can I punch him? Oh, love these two.
どうも
Ah, my Scythia. Great character. Great unit.
Mm. 私忙しいので
She has Futaba's voice, right? Yeah, I think that's what made me fall in love with her very quickly.
いいぞ。
お願いします。
あれれ
What? She voices Ignatz as well?
ありがとう
ありがとな。
Ah, okay. Sorry, I was confused by that.
そういえばどうだ。
Nah, I'm good. Hey.
君か。
Ah, Ferdinand von Eyre.
何？
I think should have feigned ignorance here, so he can tell me about himself.
いざ参る。
Oh well, who cares? Oh god. Ah, thank you, so good. Oh look, it's Alec with blue hair, kinda. Eh?
お呼びでしょうか。
Alec Wasserin.
礼を言います。
Oh, only one choice. Kiaran, have you played the whole demo?
こんにちは
Dodo. All the characters. I love that. Oh, okay. So yeah, okay. Like, I was wondering if we would be getting to the whole tactical aspect, and if you could tell me, but then we might find out here. She just spoke 2 words to me, and he's like, anyone ever told you you're surprisingly easy to talk to? I mean, it's like a compliment in Japanese, I think. Oh yeah, you're playing that other thing. Maybe I should check that out. Manuela! She's my spirit animal. Like, a little bit older, but still hot. Yeah, little bit desperate. Hanuman. You don't just go around asking about people's crests. That's rude. Petra! Ooh, double arrow. I love her, and she loves me. Best girl. Okay. Done with this. Yes, I have. I do like that we're able to play demos like this nowadays. Really, I mean, the gaming companies are not losing much, right? I mean, they lose out on sales of people who might have gotten the game and then realize, oh no, this sucks. But still, I think it's a good thing to also make other people just try it out and then actually think, hey, this game is great, I want to buy this. People who might have not bought it anyway. So yes. Yeah, I guess so, Eva.
貴殿はルミール村に投留しているというジェラルト傭兵団に会いに行くときだがそこを曲げてどうかガルグマク大修道院に来た。
そう言われても
貴殿の多大なる働きに対してこの野営地で用意できるだが大修道院に戻れば相応の実はあまり大きな声では言えんのだが士官学校の生徒しかも各国の重要人物である宮長が教団の失態により孤立し、盗賊と刃を交える羽目になったなど公になれば大問題ゆえに貴殿に十分な礼を支払った上で決して口外しないという誓約書を。
それはもう礼というより口止め料ね。
という同僚もいてな。私も立場上このまま貴殿を解き放つことがでここは一つ諸事情に鑑みてガルグマクに行くこと。
ガルグマク
だね。善人のように見えてどうする？君の目的からは随分と遠回りになって。
納得はできないけど諦めるしかないか。とりあえずガルグマクには行くからなるべく早く。
おお、すまん。あまりの申し訳なさに胃が痛くなってきそうだ。胃がいいかもしれぬな。
Yeah. I guess you guys are right. It's probably more of a benefit than it could be a dissuasion from buying. Like, I'm still not sure if I'm gonna buy it, mostly because it'll definitely be ranking lower than many other games I need to still get. But the fact that I was able to get into it and see the beautiful MC might make me want to get it at the end. In the end?
さっきも思ったけど、
At some point.
アロイスさんのそれ、
待つんだ。それは口にしてはいけない。触れてはいけないことがあると。
そのいかめしい鎧、着こなしてるの。
なるほど、この鎧か。よき目の付けどころだな。この鎧には語り出すと長くなる。深くも。
聞いたわ。
Saved by the
あれ
bell.
が僕に連行されるそうね。同情するけれど、私としては。
おいおい、連行って言い方。
野営地に誘ったのが俺たちである。本当にいいのか。大事な目的があったのだろう。騎士団の要請を断りがたいのも理解。
仕方ないわ。
そうか。
さてと、おしゃべりは終わりにしてくれ。
元はといえば、俺が強く誘ったせいだな。お前の邪魔をしちまうことになるとは。悪かった。この借りは何？
ありがとう。期待して貸しておくわ。
おい、何をしている。置いていくぞ。
しかし、公女、皆実に興味深いわ。
ずいぶん私のことを評価してくれるわよね。気高そうな割にこっちをたびたび気遣ってくれるし、民思いの優しい、いい意味で貴族っぽくないわね。気さくだし、仕事をするにも楽そう。
これはまた楽観的。さて、そろそろ行こうか。
序章。
Yeah.
3つの
Oh, you have not
学級。
played Three Hopes? Three Houses? I don't know if the genre is for you, but in general, I honestly love the game. I really, really love the story progression and just all the character interactions mostly. And then this one will obviously be more fun as well because you know the people. You did not like the strategy kind of gameplay? Oh. For me it was the perfect game in terms of so many things to grind for and so many side gigs, and you can optimize and improve your weapons and so many events to unlock, and then you have all the time in the world to decide your decisions in battle, and that's so great. Yeah. Also, ooh, we're at 2.3% drop frames, so nothing really improved.
私はレア。すでに聞いていると思いますが、生徒たちを救ってくれたこと、あなたに。
いえ、恐縮ね。
そうかしこまらずとも良いのです。
さて、君をここへ呼んだのは実は
提案？
このガルグマク大修道院にその生徒に君もな。
It's just gonna be 3 houses, but with this chick?
あなたは傭兵とはいえ、どこかの団に所属しているわ
Different
けではない
timeline, I
と聞きま
guess.
した。それに、あなたが助けた宮長この学び屋で過ごす時間は、
僕たちの力について報告を受けていて、しかしまるでこちらがこと。
私には目的があるの。そのためには強くならなくちゃいけない。ここでそれが達成できるなら。
そうか。大修道院にはセイロス騎士団をはじめ多くの強者がで、君が強くなりたいというのなら他にはな。
さて、どうやら逃げ。
じゃあ。
Okay. Suddenly I've become isekai'd into a student world.
君がその選択を悔やむことがないよう
あなたには期待しています。
それでは我が輩から士官学校には3つの学級があり、
Or do I need to
フォドラ
join a
各国の
house?
生徒には貴族も平民もいるが、有望な生徒たちが一つの寮で生活をと。
3つの学級はそれぞれ出身国ごとに分かれている。エーデルガルトが級長で、アドラステア帝国出身者が集まるリミトリが級長で、ファーそれにクロ。
こちらで所属を決めても構わないのだが、特例というのもあるし。
いいの？もちろんですよ。
Okay, so Petra and Doro, also Edelgard, I guess. Mercedes. She's really the only one I super care about, especially since Felix's new design is horrible. Lysithia. I guess we're gonna go here. Just in terms of waifu count. Yeah. Yeah. Then again, Bernie. I don't care about these people. Waifu over meta, right? Yeah. Well, okay, in that case, it's gotta be here.
決めたわ。心は決まりましたか？
Hope I can just recruit everyone anyway.
そうね。急遽担当のあなたは初対面よね。こちらは武術師範の
ジェリッツァ。
イエリッツァだ。
私より腕が立ちす。
あら、珍しいわね。イエリどの学級でも構わん。それならこの子のいる学級の担任になったらいいんじゃないかしら。
Interesting development.
構わんと言った。好きに。特に問題もなかろう。
そういうことになるわね。それじゃあ私は担任じゃない。
話がトントン拍子に進んでいく。
今節の課題は
課題？
おお、課題について士官学校では学級ごと。
Yeah. Oh yeah, Edelgard is super strong as well. Yeah. I think this is a good house.
どうかしら。成功の目はかなりあると思うのだけれど。
Say so church requires say so sacrifice. Oh, honestly, earlier I thought about on my Twitter. Wait, first of all, the fuck? Okay, like the replies to my tweet are really great, but also in my Twitter profile it says 80% say so. I thought about reducing that to 69%. I mean, not just for the meme, but also for accuracy, I guess. Anywho, back to playing. Oh, hi! Hey, Mama! I'm sorry, I didn't tell you I was streaming because this game is not gonna be interesting for you, I think. But hi anyway. Timing.
そうですな。失敗した時の危険が大きすぎるのでは。
Yeah, anyone who doesn't know, that's my mom.
今までも幾度となく危ない橋は渡りました。しかしこれは
Don't call her mama.
明確な敵対です。
Hydrate, yes, thank you. Oh, enjoy, enjoy. Don't dox yourself to people. Don't tell people where you are. That's not safe on the internet, Mom. Like, yeah, and enjoy the sun though. I hope you have good weather there. Everyone else, look away.
彼らがこちらの思惑に気づいた場合、取り返しがつきませんよ。
でも、このままだと彼女そうよ。待っていては奇跡など起こらない残党の動き。彼女の居所。
Someone should redeem the speak German
担
thing.
任の選定。そして今節の課題。
No, just like it's just a safety thing. You should be cautious about that. Yay! Danke, Kieran. So, jetzt kann ich wieder Deutsch reden. Ja, ich glaube, im Internet muss man wirklich vorsichtig sein, damit solche Informationen rauszugeben. Denn ja, ich meine nicht, dass jetzt jemand kommen würde und dich stalken würde da, aber wer weiß. Na, man will das ja jetzt hier nicht riskieren. Eines Tages, wenn ich ganz, ganz berühmt bin, könnte jemand diese Information gegen dich und mich nutzen. Oder das, ja. Aber ich hoffe, ihr habt schönes Wetter. Ich hoffe, Moritz geht's gut. Ich hoffe, deinem Freund geht es auch gut. Ich werde seinen Namen jetzt nicht nennen. Und wart ihr schon am Strand? Ja, genau. Wenn es einmal im Internet ist, dann ist es dafür immer.
彼らを私が思っていたよりも
頼んだわ。ようこそ、アドラー
Ah, alleine. Auch gut. Sehr gut.
あなたがこの楽器を選んでく
Dann
れて
genieße die
嬉しいわ。
Zeit alleine und ich hoffe trotzdem, dass du schönes Wetter hast. Ja, Moritz. Kannst du mir ein paar Fotos von Moritz schicken? Dann kann ich sie mit meinen Leuten teilen.
お前士官学校の生徒しかも俺たちの学級なんてすげえじゃねえか。
どういうことですか？知らない人が増えてます。
そういえばベルちゃんだけ節始めの野外活動にいろいろあったのよ。聞いてない？盗賊に襲われたりとかね。
Ja, Miauritz. Yeah, Moritz is my mom's cat. He's a very, very chunky boy. Very, very. Yeah, just send them via WhatsApp.
しかし教団も思い切ったことをしたもの。エーデルガルトを助けた君の手腕には大いに学ぶ。
私、傭兵の戦い方興味あります。ぜひ訓練しましょう。
僕は寝ていたいな。
そういえばあれね、調べられたわ。別に持ってないって。
Apparently, we do not have a crest.
持っていそうな気がしたけど。
野営地でも顔を合わせたし知っているでしょうけれど、こういう人たちが集まった学級よ。
イエリッツァ先生、来ました。
課題は聞いている。
Okay, more fighting finally.
襲撃した盗賊団鉄頭のコスタスはすでに撃たれており。
私たちでも余裕を持って討伐できる相手だと思うわ。
Ah, Ferdi Fox. Yeah. I've never tried those sausages. I thought they looked too artificial. I mean, obviously sausages are not something that occurs in nature anyway. Yeah.
そうだ。
And he's gone.
俺も俺に任せてくれって言おうけどあの無駄口は叩かねえって態度が。
Raise an eyebrow. That's what I would do, but
確かに。
yeah.
静かだと風格があるわよね。
そうよね。おしゃべりが過ぎると魅力は半減よね。ともかく今回は全員参加よ。あなたの活躍も期待。
もちろん 私に任せて。
Oh, I wear the uniform now. Ah, so cute. Two weeks later, what?
ここにいたか、イエリッツァ。
せですか。
ああ、例の盗賊団はすでに騎士団が退路を断ち、生徒たちの実践を支援する準備を進めているそうだ。
I have received cat pictures. Let me see. Oh. Oh. Oh, ist er wieder süß. Oh, he's so süß. Thank you. I will show them off. Oh my god, also daily manual. Oh, very beautiful. Okay, sorry, I'm back. Yeah, he's not suspicious at all, right?
当然だが、生徒の中には実践が初めての者もいる。くれぐれも気
Also,
を
this
つけて
is
くれ。
sort of spoilery for Three
君のような
Houses
手
if
だ
you
れが
haven't
いれば
played it yet.
わかっている。おい、
おい。
課題に出るぞ。
いよいよね。
Can I fight? Please?
盗賊を見失った？
面目ないがその通りだ。だが、あんな少人数の
Oh
盗
my
賊
god,
団が
these
し
heads
かも
are
残
getting
党を
more and
救
more
って何が
ridiculous.
したいのか。
なるほど。血の
匂い。
Wait, what?
ついて。
先生、
He's
見
so
失った
creepy.
盗賊の場所にここ。
他はいない。
イエリッツァ先生、一人でそう進んでは。
私が始末した。
確かに皆事切れているようだな。
さて、それはどうですかな。いかがですか。
いや、だが間違いない。
お、カスパル君、知ってるの？
いや、全然知らね
え。どうせそんなことだろうと思ったよ。ここは王国と帝国の境界近くかしら。
王国軍のものでもなさそうだよ。
盗賊の拠点、潜入、壊滅します。
Yeah, Petra.
私できる。
Slay
で
Queen.
きます。
ちょっと、ペトラちゃん？
Petra ちゃん？
私たちだけじゃ危なくな。
いや、もし中に盗賊逃げ出した族
There's
が
too
民
much
に
talking
被
in
害
this
を
game.
与え
This
る
is
前に
Persona.
透明。
いや、貴族とか関係ねえだろ
もしあれが盗賊の根城なら潰せばお。
君って意外と好戦的なんだ。いずれにせよ勝手に決めないでちょ。
課題の続きだ。と見張りもおらず。
火の気配。精霊。
違います。
教授、感謝します。フォドラの言葉、難しいです。
さあ、そうと決まれば動きましょう。
Okay, let's go. Oh wow, it's big. So I have Ferdinand, Edelgard, and Hubert. There are several closed things. It's not too bad. Oh, I can start with stuff. Wait. Wait. Huh? No. I can say change unit? No, I cannot say. Change deployment. What does it say? Nothing really, huh? So just start? Ah, okay. Okay, that's not very... Ow! Oh, God. Thank you, Eva. Okay. Right, thank you. Is there anything I can actually do here? I think not, because most of the things are closed, so I need to give my orders during the fight. Oh. Press L to display quick menu 2. Approach an allied unit. And L press Y to assign him. Ooh! Up. Also, who do I want to be my adjutant? Maybe. Oh, I cannot? Can I not? Wait. Yeah, no, I don't know. Did I do it? Hold on. This is too much. So there's a thing. I want to go there. Where's there? There's there. And now we're gonna go here. This is for heals, I guess? And then we can go. So far, so good. Hey. Ooh, money! You kill that guy. You kill that guy. Where's Edelgard? Where is Edelgard? Did she die? Did Edelgard die? Oh, bye-bye! Have a good evening. Did Edelgard die? Oh no, she's my adjutant. Okay, I did it. I did it correctly. Whew. Oh yeah, gatekeeper. Yeah, with an X will only open. Okay. Yup. Stuff. Oh yeah, chapter 4. Nice. Oh, achievements. I like it. Fire magic attacks may inflict the burning status. Ah, it's fine. Need a heal. And oh my god, yes. So they want me to go up and up, I guess. But I also wanna... Yeah, okay. Go here. Go. Blah. Yes, chest. This game is too much for me. This is not a stream game. I might be enjoying playing this on my couch. Ooh. Yes, I got that. Weapon pack. New weapon or new materials. So much stuff happening. I cannot handle this. So what is this? That's a base captain. Okay. I forgot one of these things. No, it's fine. We need to go up and then there. Okay, let's take that guy. My base now. And we're going here. This is so random. I liked Persona 5 Scramble much more. I think the controls were a little bit more better to understand, I guess. And also I really love the story aspect of the game. The music, the characters, obviously. I've enjoyed Persona 5 Scramble a ton more than this. No, not intuitive, it's more like there are less controls, so it's a little bit more clean overall. And I care about, like, this is just too many things. I've already forgotten most of the things. So I want that chest, by the way. Oh, okay, this is already mine now. What is this? New accessory. Okay. Can I order someone to go there? Maybe. Ferdinand, you can do it. You can do this. And you can do that guy. And I will go up there. I just came from. Ooh. Ooh, wait. Wait. Yay. No, I need to go up. Go up. How do I unadjutant my lady? L plus. There we go. You guys, okay, you're almost done here, I hope. You could get that. They are doing this. Okay. I'm just gonna go. I do like the finishing moves. They look very cool. Yay! We did it! Oh, that was a shitty level up. Ah, there's more. Okay. Just need to go to the end. Don't really need to heal. To get this ending. Woo! How do I turn on awakening form again? I got. Ooh! Hello! I'm sorry. Oh, it's her. No? Mm-hmm. Ha Yes, that'll do. That'll do, pig. I think I'm done. Yay! Wait, we're not done yet? No, not her. I think we're done. What are you guys doing, by the way? Oh, I guess there's something down there? No, we don't need to go there. Can you guys just come to me? Oh, okay, okay. Mysterious people have it. Then let's change orders. Okay, 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 stop, stop. So you kill that dude. You kill this dude. You kill... Oh my god, there's so many. You kill that one for now. Oh, escort Monica. Ah, okay. I can do that. Use the guard order and select it unit the guard and fight beside. I guess. So, you. Guard.
彼女を狙っているようだ。我々でしっかりと守らねばな。
この程度の防備、軽く打ち破ってやりましょう。
Oh, Ava, hi! I will look at you in a bit. Oh no, Monica's being attacked? No, she's not, is she?
これでも進めないか。怪しい者どもを打ち倒すぞ。今なら逃げ出せるか。
Oh, this is too much. So, okay, wait. Banana, yes. Love, thank you, Ava. Hydrate, yes. No, my glass is empty. Hi, Ava. Welcome. I'm glad to see you here. Yeah, I need to get more water. I'll be right back. Too many things at once. I cannot multitask. I'm back, and I hydrated, thank you. So... Something about some kind of thief going somewhere? I have no idea what's happening. Let's just... continue here. Don't let the thief retreat! Oh my god! So that guy wants to go there. So, she's protecting Monica. Then maybe you go intercept that guy. And you also go intercept that guy. I don't know. Are these guys evil? Yes. Okay, Monica's advancing. Oh my god, she's advancing. She is advancing. Look at this. I pressed the A button. Nice. Well, those are my people, I think. Monica is advancing, yay! Mari seized the plaza, yes she did. Side mission successful. Oh nice! They defeated the thief. Good job guys, good job. And I think we're done? Yes? Woo! Oh no, it's Kanya. Hey, thank you for the follow, the gaming rodent. Cool name. Oh, she's hot. She's hot. Oh yeah, thank you for dropping in and saying hi. I do not mind you at all. Okay. Whoops! She ran right past me. Yes, I got that. Okay, my gauge is kind of full. Ooh, she's doing something. Oh, she got me. Okay. Oh yeah, beavers are pretty cool. So I appreciate, I think any kind of rodent, like my best friend is a rat, but beavers are really cool, yes. I used the heal thing. Oh no, Ferdinand is in trouble. What are you doing, Ferdinand? Kill that guy. I think we're done? Yes. Oop. Oh my god, it doesn't stop. Hold on. So he's here. He's okay. They are... Yeah, I think they can do this. So let's just focus on the monster. Ooh, ah! Yes. Monsters are protected by 4 barriers. Ah, okay. Okay, so sword barrier, max barrier, lance barrier, light barrier? Oh, ooh, to the pool! Nice! Oh yeah, I assume you're somewhere where it's really, really hot. So enjoy the pool, and thank you for dropping by. Okay, I'm doing the sword thing now. Ooh, disengage. Can I? Yeah. I should probably have taken care. No. Okay, now I can do the sword dodge. Gauge is the word. Oh, oops. It's done. I don't know why, but it's done. Yeah. Keep talking. Where is Monica though? Oh, there she is. Oh no! Oh well. MVP. Yup. Kinda overleveled. Level up on Wrath Strike, that's nice. Would have been nice if I had gotten an ass. Ooh. Class XP. Hmm.
また一つ力を得た。けど。
力を得て困ることな。
We got the D. And we got some things. That's a lot of things, yeah. Pew, pew, pew.
もう絶対に助からないって思ってましたけど、こんなことってあるんですね。皆さん。
それでモニカ、どうしてあなたがこんなところに？いえ、そういえば。
Oh yeah, that was mentioned earlier, I think, about some student leaving and never returning.
噂じゃないんです。卒業間近になって怪しい奴らに初対面の皆さんに挨拶がまだでしたね。私はモニカ・フォン・オックス。
モニカ・フォン・オックス。
オックス男爵家の着信にして、殿下の忠実なる死こうして命も救っていただいたわけですし。
相変わらずね。
彼女は去年のアドラークレッセの生徒。
あなたに先輩って言われるのは。
事情元はといえば騎士団が盗賊どもを見失ってしまったことで、しかも盗賊の根城を吐き誰も文句のつけようがあるまい。
ねえ、なんでアロイ
貴殿らがどこかに行ってしまうから応援に呼ばれて駆けつけたのだ。まあそれはイエリッツァ先生の指導に問題が馬だけにどう。
わかった。しかしこれは由々しき事態。野外活動中の生徒らを襲った盗賊団。
盗賊団。
何？
そういえば砦の中には明らかに盗賊あるいは盗賊は使い走りで。
Agree wholeheartedly. Agree half-heartedly.
逃がしちゃったけど、黒にあれは盗賊じゃないわ。傭兵の
Well,
私が言
if
うんだから。
anything, we got a new waifu today. So that is a win.
それもそうなんですけど、私。
何？なぜ？
相手が相手なもので、その。
どういうことだね。端的に。
殿下は知ってると思いますけど。
そうね。それは保証する。
はい。殿下。だから間違いありません。
トマシュ殿だと。
Spoilers for Three Houses, by the way. Don't read this.
昔からガルグマクに勤めるのか。信じがたいが証言がある。
アロイス殿。
もしトマシュがクロニエの仲間なら
仕方がないな。君たちも今の話。
Just let me save.
何やら面白いことになってきたよ。しかし黒に。
そういえば戦いの最中にもあの女を気にしていたわよ。
さあ、それは僕にも断定が不可能だ。ほとんどが破損してしまっているのさ。君だというのに、その感覚が愛おしいか好ましいかさえ今の僕には判断がつかないんだよ。
Pure emotion, nice.
あなた
君のそういうおおらかなところが僕にはきっと好ましい。
Nice, nice, nice.
そういうことで大司教殿はトマシュの捕獲を決めたわ。
トマシュ殿は数日前からガルグマクを留守。不在中に彼の行動や私物を調査した結果、教団への範囲が明確になったそうです。
それで騎士団は彼が戻ってくるのを待ち構え。
背後関係を洗うため。
私の話。
それはそうよ。
結局トマシュってどんな人なの？
そうだよ。ここに来てから確
かにリン君ってベルはちょっと顔と。
男に決まってんだろ。私の聞いたところによると、その間 ずっと悪事を企んでいたとは考えにくい。
変身しました？身が変わる方じゃなくて、心変わる変身。
むしろ変身といえば君だよね。誰も突っ込む。
でもなんて恐ろしい。
何言ってんだベルナデット。
はい。あなた。いや、
そうでした。
あら、
急げ。門の方は手配済みだろうな。
はい、出入り口は。
これはトマシ、君も行った方がいい。そんな気がするんだ。
トマシュが現れたんじゃないの？気になる。
ちょっと勝手に動いては。
What was that? Ah, the cutscenes are nice.
大司教様がお呼びだ。共に来てもらおう。
ならばこの姿にももう
Persona. He said the word. Oh my god, she's so pretty. Ugh.
今のは。
愚かな獣どもが邪魔をしよって。
探せ。
私と同じ。
Why is she so pretty? I love her. Yeah, it is a 6-head. Oh my god, thank you. We can save. I kind of want to play something else now. I hope you guys are not mad. Yeah. That's just like it's like a little bit too much for me. So I mean, it's my stream, so you guys gotta take it or leave it. And then I see my viewer numbers go down, like, oh no, they left it. Anywho, that was the Switch. Oh, thank you, Aza. We're gonna catch up on some Cozy Grove. That is the plan. Yes. Less than 3 hours until collab. Does it work? Cozy Grove. Hello. Cozy Grove? Yeah. Ah, there we go. That looks good. Apparently, it's on sale currently. Maybe on the Switch. I don't know. My friend mentioned it to me. So if anyone is interested in this game, now might be the chance. Oh yes, and oh yeah, I should probably advertise the collab. So in less than 3 hours now, we're gonna play Jackbox 7, I think, on Rad's stream. Let me get shout out Rad. No, ignore that. That was wrong. Ignore that. This is the correct one. Are there clips? Oh yeah, there's a clip. So yeah, Red, good person.
Nope, it's just black too.
And we're gonna play Jackbox on his channel, and Emma's gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. Oh no! Sorry, Emma. I didn't see it. Yes, hydrate. Stretch. Big stretch for you. I didn't know. I thought you might have been away, so I just I feel bad always just shouting at you. Hey, Eva, do the thing, do the shout out, do this, do that. I can do my own things sometimes. Anywho, feed Sven. Yeah, okay, thanks. Next time I'll let you do it because obviously I suck at it too. So, but yeah, we will be playing Jackbox on Red's stream. And what the fuck is that? I want to catch it. Come here, you. Come into my general vicinity. Fuck. What is that? Mushroom. What is it exactly? It's not the normal mushrooms. Game audio. Yes. Thank you, Eva. Now also you can hear when I get hit by stuff. That's nice. Why is it always called baked, by the way, if it's kinda not baking? Also, I think it's not the baking after all, it's just flaming a mushroom. No, that's the wrong item. Whatever could my cat want? What am I doing? I honestly just wanna... Oh, nice. Ear sower. Ew. I honestly want to keep playing until Kals starts streaming so I can raid her. Because I love her. Throw it. Yeah, throw me on mobile. What? Huh. Son of a memory song. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh man, I need a lot of... Ugh, I need a lot of nuts. Yeet the cat? What? Why would I yeet the cat? Ooh, learn how to make a cornucopia. Dry my— What? I mean, I do like mayonnaise, but dry? Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm really a little slow today, I think. Let's see how that translates to the collab. First, I need to find the badge, which should be somewhere here. Thank you. Grew it myself. By the way, is the audio okay or is it too loud? The game audio. Oh, there it is. Sounds okay so far. Thank you. Ah, such a peaceful game. No one screaming at me to go there, kill that guy, defend this area, now go here. Well, they kinda telling me where to go, but they give me lots of time to do it. Oh, for spirit banter, that's so cute. Oh. Stop giving me bushes. Nice. Ooh, this area has developed. Who was that again? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Things are making sense to me now. He didn't give me the thing that the other one wanted. Not nice. More nuts. Another photo. Oh no, it's also that guy. Are they gatekeeping my progress now? Ooh, that's a new place to dig. Thankfully I upgraded my shovel, so now I can. And that's just a radish. A parsnip. It's not very exciting. Wait, ooh, is that a new person? No, it's just an imp. Open assistant mayor position. Huh? Oh no! I've been recruited. Now my mustache makes sense. What do I do with this? Give it to her later? Yeah. Okay. He wants a nut, but I cannot spare any. That's new. That's new. Apparently that is also new. Huh. Good. And what do you want? Oh no, now they all want photos. At least that means my progress is very much up to date on everything. Nope. Hydrate, thank you. Squishy squasher. I bet that's new. Nope. Too bad. No. This guy now, this gal. You want me to get dressed up? Oh, darling. Okay, I have my hair. Green, warm shirt, warm orange scarf. Stretch. Thank you, Arnie. Feels like I'm all stretched still. Ow! Oh my god. She was, in fact, not. Where? Where? I think that's, yeah, what she wanted. Honestly, what I actually did, I did stretch and then afterwards I shook, and I can't say this, but parts of my body that I'm not being held up by a piece of clothing right now, they jiggled, and that hurt a little bit. Because they're, I don't know, no, nothing. Hey, I got a fascinator. What is that? Nice! Yeah, there was jiggle. Appendages have jiggle. The pudding. Okay, get rid of all those clothes. What is that? Rare pearl. Oh. No, not sword. No. Oh, yeah. No. Put in closet. Put in closet. Welcome back, Eva. Did I have this guy yet? Big Dreamer? Seems familiar. Let's talk to the guy who has the photos of everyone. Freebie. Oh wait, I also need to talk to the crafter guy, unless he also wants a photo. Ah, no, something else. Pile of skulls. Tall stuff. Pile of skulls. Pile of skulls. This pole looks... Speaking of poles. Wait, also I need to talk to this person. What do you want? Okay, I have those. Cool. Ah, pile of skulls. Nice. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Ah, yeah, all my lamps are turning on now. Bing! Bing! And there's another clock. Also, I think I was dousing my rod. I'm glad you appreciated that. Near fallen log, chest, grass piles. Talk to him first. Still nothing. Okay, then I can just sell some stuff. What's the saying? Like, I want to get my dick wet? That's so crude. Oh, nuts! Perfect. No, not that one. Also not that one. Yes. Oh, okay, 14 more. keep getting distracted by other things. So, what does my thing say? Fire. 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 Nice. Fire. Fire. Nice. Fallen log. Okay. Oh yeah, fun fact, I cannot whistle. I wanted to whistle along, but I could not. Oh, I haven't donated that yet. Okay, so it was not the biggest mistake. Ultra rare dick. Okay, leaf pile near fallen log. New lore? Oh yeah! New Mari lore. Mari cannot whistle and she cannot snap her fingers. This is why she relies heavily on her voice for making weird noises. Is there any fallen log around here? Oh. Can I roll my R's? Wait. Well, tell me a word I should try this on. I don't even know. Is it like is that it? Can I roll my R's? Apparently I can. That looks good. But there's no fallen log, so that's not what I wanted. I'm just gonna click on every leaf pile. Oh! That was it? No, different one. But still. Ruffles have riches. Hi Jazz, by the way. Oh yes! No? Hmm. Oh god! Thank you for changing the stream category, Eva. I forgot until now. But it's already been changed. Yeah, Fire Emblem was okay, but it wasn't really my thing. Yeah, I know you can do things. Like, when I do things, it's not because I think you can't, I just don't want to put everything on you. Ugh, someone tell me what the grass pile is, please. You there. Clock! Kiaran and Sunken, or either. Also, Jazz, can any one of you let me know when Cults is going online? Like starting her stream? Thank you. Oh, okay, it was back here. And next one? Dingy Barrel, yay. Yeah, I know it should be about that time. But like when she's actually on and live and doing it. Because I was very sad that a few days ago I raided not her when I could have. So that was sad. Ooh, this is new, I think. No, don't smash your things. Thank you for the hydrate, Eva. Oh, please, yeah, stop destroying them. Aww. This guy is so sad. I mean, Karen, that shit means you can save some eggplants for other things. Treat yourself to, I don't know. A song, a bonk, a banana. Simple gear. Oh, simple gear, yeah. Oh, I can donate that. I should craft that. Hello, I want to craft. I cannot. Oh, 10 silver ingots. Yeah, maybe not. Oh, I can up. Oh, it makes sense now. Can I? Yeah, you did the 2K German thing for my mom. Thank you. And now I can craft this. And now I can finally exchange that for things. Oh. Also, something else maybe? That looks nice. Stretch, yes. No jiggle this time, I hope. Thank you. This is cute. I'll do that later. Also, crafting badge. I might be done for the day, I think. In terms of quests. I mean, if the jiggle is painful, then you don't want the jiggle. We're a little sore today. Ooh. Oh, damn. Don't mind me, I just need to share something. I'll share it in my server as well. Nice. but also Pinata server, because that's where it will get the most recognition. Anyway, back to the game. Whoop whoop. This looks new. Industrial fishing refugee, what the fuck? Pinata. Aren't you streaming? Yeah, well, what of it? Okay. Ah, I can buy some of these. Oh, just one? Just one. Damn. Ooh, this looks fun. What's this? Oh, I want this! Bye! Sorry. Okay, that's it. Oh, guys, it's been a day. It's been a day. I'll tell it how it. No, I won't. Yeah, fishing refugee. I'm glad I'm still catching so many missing bugs, though. Guess I should fish more? Probably. So what is up with this heart-shaped cave here? Can I buy something from you? The indignity! No. Nope. You there? Are you new? Zombie real estate agent. That sounds new. Do they just use combine random tags to get these names? I think so. And you? Discount paste beetle. Yep, random tags. There's something in this termite hill? No. Maybe a few more nuts. Welcome back. Thank you for coming. Yeah, I lost my thunder. I'm sorry. It's one of those days. Don't you give me that fake laugh now. It's even more insulting than not laughing at all. Oh, I can buy from him. What does he sell? Oh, we could. Oh no, that's just film. But I can also donate that. Okay. Ah. Nut and money. And bug. No, bug. Ah, we had that already. Wait, what do you want? Oh, I have a log, apparently. Gulp. Nothing today. Oops. Just that guy? Okay. Ooh. Also, I thought it said, yeah, I can donate those. Yeah, after a while there really isn't that much to do in the game anymore, so I mean you could just grind, but that gets boring. Let's expand my kingdom a little bit into this direction. That's not great. That's not great either. My kingdom? No, that's what you said, no. The Katerland. Glory for the Katerland. Now where? Oh, here. Yes. Oh, that's a nice bamboo lamp. I like it. Ooh, thank you! But she has her starting soon screen, I think, so I need to wait a few more minutes. Thanks. Oh, that's a normal guy. That's also a normal guy, I think. Come on. Canadian Pillbug. And you? No, they're all old. Oh yeah, okay. How many more? Still a few. think that's new. Don't think I've had that before. Leather skin is not new though. Bill also sounds a little bit new. I'm not sure. Tiny one, will you come? Do you not care for my bobber? Oh, you do. Rockling. I think there's a... There has to be something new among those. Also that guy. Ooh, and this. And that guy. Just like Animal Crossing, catching stuff and completing Body Survivor. Completing the collections is always the most fun. But Body Survivor gets put into this guy's thing. So Grassfin was new. Oh no, everything else wasn't. Huh. Nobly. Oh, lots of money though. That's nice. Okay. I kind of apologize for the sort of low energy stream. I was feeling a lot more spirited earlier today. Bye bye Arnie, you're not missing anything. I'm gonna stop streaming soon. Ah! Ah! Knocked the mustache clean off. Whoa! Thank you. Yeah, I was more spirited earlier, but now I'm not. Yeah, one was like come and go, right? Throw and bow out. No, it's the women stuff, Jazz. The debuff has hit, and I was fine this morning, but now my stomach hurts and my boobs hurt and everything hurts. So that's fun. Yes. Anyway, that shall not stop me. Especially not from doing the collab later. Like in less than 2 hours, please check out Rat's channel to maybe even play along, because we're going to play Jackbox and we need more players. So please come by. I will link it in my Discord, obviously. But if you're not following him yet, then you should do that now.
Hey chickadee, rada bing, rada boom.
He plays very cozy stuff as well, also rhythm games, and he draws
Let's never
sometimes
say that
because he's an actual artist. Yeah, so wait, I wanted to this. If you can, obviously. Quit. And now we shall rate. Miss. Where is she? There she is. Miss Kaltz Usahari Queen of the Realm of Rabbits, playing Kingdom Hearts 3 today. Yeah, thank you for the raid message. And yes, please participate in our Jackbox stream later. What can I say about Cults? I love her. She's wonderful. Please give her my best and my regards and a follow if you're not already, but most of you are. Anywho. Yes, Bunby Spin. We love Cults. So, let's go! And thank you all for being here again. See you soon!